Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all our honored guests. Welcome to webinar session of the Higher Education Virtual Expo 2021. With me today is Mr. Bahit Hamid, Head of IT Division of PB from Polytechnic Brunei, and he will be presenting a topic on Polytechnic Brunei Admission Usage Guide. There will be a 10-minute session for question and answer at the end of this session. You can type all your question at the chat area, and we will try our best to answer them at the end of the question and session. Okay, you may start.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Cikgu Bahit. I'm from Polytechnic Brunei. So I'm currently the system administration for PBUS, which stands for Polytechnic Brunei Admission System. So basically, this session today, I'll guide you how to use the admission system for applicants who are wanting to apply for Polytechnic Brunei. So I will share my screen. If you have any question, please ask during the Q&A session later. So my scenario that I will be using is as a local applicant. So I have an IC number, etc., etc. So I'll show you all the steps. Right, so let me share my screen. All right, so can you see my screen? Okay, so if you can see my screen now, currently I am at the website, which is at pbus@pb.edu.bn. So you can see it here. This is our primary URL to actually access the website. So in this website, you have the login credential. And if you want to register, you have to press this button over here. Not yet register, apply, and click here. However, for this demonstration purpose, I'll use a demonstration server so that I don't affect the real server that is everyone is applying. For everyone else, you can use this link. For this demo, I'll use my demo server. So just ignore this domain. It's only on my machine. All right. So if you can see here, there is actually a link, 2021. At the moment, I found out that the file itself is actually broken. So this file is actually the entry requirement for Polytechnic Brunei. So the file here is this document over here. So you can actually go through and look into the requirements of Polytechnic Brunei on which school and which program that you want to actually see and get, so you can actually target which one do you want. So that's the file. Later we'll fix this problem and you can actually see the actual file. All right, so let's continue our registration process. Okay, so for new time user, there are a few things you can click here, which is the registration part. And if you are having some other requirements or information, there are buttons down here that could help you. One is contact us, then the scholarship for international applicants and scholarship eligibility. All right, so let me click on registering a new account. So in this registering new account, you can see that there is actually a few fields to enter. Being a Bruneian, you should have your IC number. So you should choose Brunei IC holder applicant. So this will allow you to become applicants coming from Brunei. So this is, for example, you're going from O level, A level, or from diploma level 4, example IBTE. If you need explanation, you can click this button over here and it will tell you all the requirements that is needed for certain applicants. All right, so just to highlight, you need your IC number and then you need a working email. So here I'm gonna enter a dummy email. So this, not dummy, dummy IC number. So this IC number do not exist in real life. So just to be unique here. So enter it in this format. You don't need to type the dash, it will automatically fill that for you. And then enter your personal email. So for many user, I think before you actually commit to creating an account, make sure you enter the correct email, because this will actually help you to log in properly, as well as your IC number. So this is my personal email. So I'm gonna enter a password that is pre-safe. So let me check, get it. All right. Then once you're here, you can actually double check your password by clicking on show password, and then make sure you follow the requirements of the password. After that, there are a few checkbox here to actually enter and try. This is for our own purposes, but the important part is this Brunei Polytechnic Brunei policy. The other part is for marketing purposes. And click register. Once you register, this information pops up. Your account has been created, verification has been, email has been sent to your email address. Please verify your email address and enter the credential to log in. So to simulate that, I have that running here. So if I refresh, this is the email that you should be receiving. So you should see your own email, your own password, and the IC number that you enter. If you somehow do not receive this email, most probably you have entered the wrong email. If after 2 days you haven't received this email, please contact us. So basically you may enter a incorrect email address. So here I'm gonna log in. Once you log in, you will be presented with the dashboard. This dashboard tells you a few things. One is your process or progress in filling up this entry form. So you have the completing details, uploaded documents, program choices, and finally submitted file. So when you go through, there it is a bit overwhelming, but we have designed it in such a way that you go it step by step. So the most important thing before you start is actually entering your personal details. So you have this applicant's details over here. This will actually have more information about you if you enter it correctly. So here, press the update personal details. So I'm gonna enter my first name and my last name, and just gonna mock birthday. So I'm just gonna choose any random birthday right now. So male, race, you can enter all the information needed, Bruneian, Islam, and since I'm married, and place of birth is Brunei. Then after that, press personal. So every field, if you see this button over here, you basically can save your progress. So you press that, it saves your details. You can see here, successfully updated personal details, and more information appears in your form. So you can enter other parts of your credential, for example, IC color. So I'm just gonna enter a random number for the issue date and something in the future for the expiry date. Again, you can see it here, update IC details, and so on and so on. So all the details over here actually is being recorded, and you can see that it's still not updating over part. So you need to somehow update the whole field. So I'm gonna enter Polytechnic Brunei, Ong Som Peng. District is Brunei Mora, BSB. So I'm just gonna BA1234 and Brunei Darussalam. This part actually asks whether if you have a different home address and mailing address. Most students should be the same unless you are having like a business or something like that have a different mailing address that you receive upon. So you should click here just to make your mailing address and your home address the same. If you have differently, then you enter it differently over here. Then will you require accommodation for your program? This is asking whether for our statistics that you require accommodation. You can click yes or no here. So I'm just going to click no. And then do you require transportation for your accepted program? This is the case for engineering students who are studying at our Lumut campus. So for this one, we're gonna study at Polytechnic on Sompeng, so I don't need transportation for that. And then update address. So when you go down, you will see other parts, telephone number. So I'm just gonna enter a mock telephone number over here. 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then update contact details. And you can see that completing details actually increased. So this process of entering information, by the end of this journey, you'll see that it will all go 100% if you enter it correctly. So when you finish entering here, you can go to the next section, academic history and achievement. Before I go there, you will realize that don't have a photo over here. So if you, one of the requirement for Polytechnic Brunei applicants is to have your photo uploaded. So when you go click on that, you are in a page where you can upload all your documents. So in this page, you have your applicant's photo. If you read carefully, please note that requirements of photo must confirm the following criteria: JPEG, JPG, or PNG, and has a minimum resolution of 500 pixel to 644 pixel. You can all check this information if you somehow use your computer, right-click properties, and you can see this information, or use a software for photo manipulation, and you can see the size of it. And the maximum file size is just 1 MB. So just optimize your photo and you should be fine. So before you actually upload your photo, there's a guideline to follow over here. So these two buttons over here are the same, but basically it tells you what to actually upload. So it has a few information over here that you go through, and the accepted picture is just a normal neutral background uh, with no face or closing your eyes and so on, just having a normal one. So read this through and you should be okay. So click somewhere and actually choose a file, and I'm just gonna upload my photo over here and click upload. Once uploaded, the photos should appear over here. And then let's go back to the personal detail just now. If you are lost or anywhere, don't know where to click for this one, you can actually just go to your dashboard and actually go through each process at the bottom. So here you can see that academic history and achievement, that's the important part when applying for poly, is actually giving information to us so that you are eligible or not. So let's click that first. Here you have some sort of information telling you what to do. So the idea here is, before you actually start adding O levels or A levels or any TVET grades, is to add current and previous institution. So by right, if you are from O level, your previous institution should be your secondary school. So I'm just gonna enter that. So previously I'm from Saidina Hassan. Then you can enter your date where you were in. So it was somewhere in 2000, that was ages ago. Let's just choose 2005, January. And then since it's another 5 years after that, it's about 2010, 9 November. Usually that's the case. All right. So once you choose that, choose your qualification. Is it O level? Is it IGC O level? That's your result, or and so on and so on. So since that's my O level, I'm just going to choose O level. And then I'm just going to choose the country. Obviously, it's Brunei. If you have more, for example, your secondary school, you have moved to another school, you may click this plus and minus button. So if I click this plus button, I can actually add more information here. So for example, I moved to Chonghua or Saidina Ali, for example. Then let's move to, that was just to use the timeline 2010, which is January. Then after that, 1st January, just another year there, 2011, November, right? So same qualification, and then Brunei obviously is the country, and then update changes. So you have all your history done. Then last school attended, since in this case we have two school, from the date logically you can choose that, but somehow you need to enter your final school that you have attended. So I'm gonna enter Saidina Ali here. And have you been terminated from any university or institution or O level in a similar manner? Meaning terminated, you fail or didn't go through correctly and finish your O levels or A levels. Since that's the case, it's not true for me, I say no here. And then update. Then I have all the required information. Now, from this step, you can actually enter your O-level grades. If you somehow click on the O-level grades without entering any history, this page will show an error and you can't enter your O-level grades. So when you are here, you can actually enter the subject and then what grades did you get and when did you get it. So since I was in Sayyidina Hassan in 2009 just now, so I'm just gonna put somewhere in July and then update results. And then in Sayyidina Ali, maybe I took maths or English. Let's try computer science. And then grade a 10. And finally, when did I get that? It was 2010. It was maybe in July. And update O levels. All right, so now you have entered just two. If you want to enter more, similar manner, you can use this row over here to add more subjects. If, for example, you enter more than needed, you can use this minus button to reduce it. So let's enter mathematics. And let's say just got B, and the year was 2009. July. Okay, save. So that's how you enter your O levels and A level. So the same thing with A levels and TVET. If you have a history of for that, since I didn't enter that, I should see an error over here stating that I have not filled in the academic history. So it doesn't make sense if you can enter A levels because you don't have any previous history from any A level institution. So same for TVET or IBTE or any similar qualification. So I only enter my O level. That's most of the case for now. And you can go back to history and finally move to the other section, which is supporting documents. All right, before I move on into that section, you realize there's a field over here. This field actually keep tracks on what you have entered. So if you see if applicable, so on and so on, those are usually optional, while those young without any if applicable are required. So here you can see that I didn't enter A level and TVET, so it is not tick. For uploaded document, I just uploaded my photo. So I need to upload other things over here. So click to the next section. And then here, before you actually upload, there's information over here. And there's tell you all the information needed for the checklist. So right now I'm not going to click this link because I'm afraid that it's broken. Let me try that. Yeah, it's available now. So it tells you all the required documents for uploading. So now let's upload my IC. So since I don't have my IC in hand, so I'm just going to upload a mock document that would represent my IC. So when you're uploading a document, it accepts a few format, which is JPG, PNG, and a better version would be PDF. If you know how to actually create a PDF, go with updating a PDF because usually that is easy for us to open and actually verify. Having a picture is not wrong. It's just that that format is a bit of hard to manage if you didn't optimize the document. So here I'm just gonna use this file over here .pdf. So just assume that is my IC. Once you have chosen the file, please remember after doing that, upload the actual file. This will upload to our server. And then remember the file limit is 10 megabytes. So have your document optimized and you should be fine. So let's say you have uploaded and you want to verify what is have been uploaded. So here it's my IC, but just remember I chose a dummy document for that. And if you want to verify you have uploaded the correct document, just click this link and you will see that that's the document I've just uploaded. Well, in this case, it was just a dummy file. So let's go back. So now let's upload the other parts. My O level, obviously, since I applied for O level. And then since I don't have my A level or the diploma, if you have, for example, diploma you doing on the side, you should be updating your history first, adding the result. And this is the physical evidence that you should upload so that we can verify what you have entered is actually true. So now for portfolio, there are some programs in Polytechnic require Brunei require extra information. For example, if you are a photographer and you want to apply for digital media, you might have a portfolio. So that portfolio might be pictures or PDF containing pictures. This is where you upload that, and so that it is considered in your application. For other programs like IT, web programs, it's not required. This is for certain diplomas only that requires this. Then for portfolio link, you might have a personal website. You can enter it here and save accordingly. So let's move to the next section, which is language. So your first language, since I'm being a Malay, is Malay. If your first language Chinese, you choose Chinese and Cantonese and so on, or English. So here, since I have my O-level English, I can choose that information here, when it was awarded and so on. If you actually taken IELTS, you can choose that as well, and then just choose when you were awarded. Usually IELTS is applied very recently, so maybe around maybe last year and so. And then result here, depending on what you have entered over here, is it O-level IELTS. If you're O-level, you should be entering your score level like C6 and so on. If you're entering like IELTS, it's using a point system, so 6.5 and so on. So other parts you can enter, just look at your certificate and you can enter this field over here. So for Bahasa Melayu, this is for ultimately for Bruneian citizen. This is used for your scholarship, and this is where we need that information. So do you have credit in Bahasa Melayu? I said yes. And then that was about B3, I think. And when was awarded, it was in 2010, July, if I'm not mistaken. Then update. So anytime you see a star next to the field, those are the required field you need to enter. So here, for example, I didn't enter for IELTS. For other parts, you should have it. You should enter it accordingly, and so on. And you should see a warning over there, and then update, and you should be fine. And then English proficiency, if you have IELTS, you upload that file. Since I applied for IELTS, I'm just going to upload a dummy file and upload that file. Then you move on to the other part. So we see here, over here, we have completed O-level, language, we have family details, funding, and so on. But for the documents, we have uploaded all the required files. So that is fine. So let's move into the family details. This family detail is used by us to actually contact if there's a case of emergency and other required information. So I'm just going to enter my father's name. So here I'm just gonna enter a dummy one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then father, and telephone 9 is 1673 123 456. Right. Since my father don't have an email, then here mother, uh, Pangeran Okia Tajuddin. Then enter 005100, right? So mother, and then telephone number. I'm just gonna mock this information and then update your details. So it's fine now. All right, so it's invalid. So you had to enter that dash, if I'm mistaken. Right, that's good. Right, now let's move to the funding details. So this funding details actually ask whether you need funding. Usually when you are applying for international and so on, there's sponsor for that. For Bruneians, have you been awarded like scholarship, for example, going to UBD and so on? If you have to enter this. But if you are from O level, usually the answer is no. For fee-paying student or applicants, please specify for source of educational self-funded or scholarship. So you can check your eligibility here. I hope they have put it there. Yes, you can check the information from MOE. Then we can say not applicable, since we are not applying for any scholarship. Usually when you're applying for Brunei citizen, IC kuning, yellow IC, this should be a part of your process. So you just apply for not applicable. This is for fee paying for private student only. So update that detail. Then after that, reference letter, if you have any from any government or any sponsor that could for fee paying student. Then let's move to the next section, employment history. This depends. If you have work or currently working, you enter this information over here. You enter the name, the address, what was your title, when you started, and nature of work. Then just enter the information, that update information history. If you don't have, you can leave this blank. Then next, move to fitness. In the fitness section, we have currently asking whether you have any illnesses. So all this information are kept private. So it's not shared with any third-party institution or company. So it's safe to put your information here. This is used maybe for our application, maybe for special needs, or maybe need some sort of help during studying. So please enter it here. It helps us to identify special needs students that might need a bit of boost in learning. So are currently treated by doctor? I'm going to say no here. Do you have any allergy? Please state. If I don't have anything, just leave it blank. Do you have any special requirement needs? Since I don't have any, just press no. Then do you have color blindness? So I don't have color blindness. Uh, so I just click no here. Then you can actually test if you are not sure by clicking this link over here. Then update the fitness test. This colorblind is actually for students who are actually applying for nursing and so on, similar from School of Health and Sciences. And then if you have your BruHIMS information ready, just enter it here and then click return to dashboard. So, all right. So we have entered personal details, O levels, fitness, BruHIMS, and HICAS details, and so on and so on. So we have not entered HICAS yet. So if you are here on this page, there are a few things you need to enter before you actually apply for Poly. You need to apply it for HICAS first. So when you applied for HICAS and went through the payment and so on, you should have some sort of ID over here in this similar manner. So have you applied for HICAS? Please, yes. And then HICAS ID. So I'm just gonna mock that same thing. 22, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10. So I'll put details. All right, this details is from your HICAS documents. You should have it there and apply it. So there's some warning over here to be read. And then the important part, what is your program you want to apply? First choice and second choice. It is possible to apply just one course, and it is also possible just to enter two courses if you want to apply first and second choice. So since I'm in web development, I'm just going to choose web development, and my second choice would be IT. Then update choices. Oh, remember, when you choose here, make sure it is the same of what you entered in your HICAS application. Anything that is not the same, or it will slow down or maybe make your application null, because this information must be correct with your HICAS application. Once you have that information over here, you see that completion details is 100%, upload the document 100%, and program choices 100%. The only final step is to finalize. So you have to see here the status change from red to yellow, and you need to submit your application. So you have to review application over here, and this is all the information that you have entered. Verify it's all there. You can even click the link of the file if you upload the correct file. And if you have done this correctly, you should press finalize. Once you press finalize, the system will actually send you an email. And that email, if I'm not mistaken, should be here. Yes, it's finalized, and you can actually see what's your first choice and second choice. And here you can actually see the PDF file being generated for your reference. So you have all the information over here, when it was generated, and so on. So once you have finished pressing this, It's just a matter of waiting for the deadline to finish, and then Polytechnic take over with all the information. If you see the status finalized, you have successfully entered everything that is required, and then it's the waiting game for PBUS. Basically, we gather all the information from everyone and go through and sift through who are eligible. So just remember, although I did this in one go, you can actually come back at a different time if you don't have the right information. So you can always log in, log out, and continue where you have left off. So the button over here is to review the application that you have entered. Once you are in this state, you should not be able to edit the information anymore. It's already fixed. If you found anything that is mistakenly entered, you may contact us using the button over here, contact us. I think on the help, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, this one. And please email us so that we can fix any problem that you might have. All right. So let me log out. So basically that is how you entered for Polytechnic Brunei admission system. If you have any question, please ask this after this session. So let me
Okay.
stop my share.
Sorry for the interruption. It's look like we're out of time. Now we'll move forward to for the question and answers. So here we have the first question from Alphys Kula. He said that he don't receive the email after register. Is it because he tried to apply it last year and PBUS recognized the email?
All right, there's a few things. First, are you able to log in after that? If you are able to log in after that, I think the problem is from our side. We had a slight hiccup in the very beginning part, so we might miss the sending of the email part. So the email that PBUS send is only two. One is during your registration, which we just confirm you have entered your password and your username. Then the second email is actually when you finalize. So when you have finalized, you should receive the finalization email, which is basically just telling you what what choices you have chosen, choice one and choice two. So all the information ultimately is taken from our database. So the email part, even though you don't receive them, if you can log in and actually verify you have entered the correct information and so on, basically you are fine. You are in good hands. So no problem with that. The email is just another confirmation that you should receive, but it's not crucial for the registration of applicants for PBAS. Yes, I hope that answered your question. So I
Here's to the
see.
next question. It's also from the Alphys Kula. He heard that about the funding details
Mm-hmm.
is not applicable means fee paying student. Is it
Yeah.
mean by they pay on their own?
If and not applicable, so those cases are for students who are having yellow IC. If you're having yellow IC, then after that, it's not applicable for scholarship or sponsor. So if you are fee paying, meaning you are having IC other than yellow, then you are expected to pay. So you should choose self-funded. In terms of fees, for those who are wanting to ask, currently we have a higher education virtual expo currently running. So go to the website. I think from here, the panelists will actually give you the proper link, and go to our booth, booth 15, if I'm not mistaken. So there you can actually ask other information related to HICAS as well as Polytechnic Brunei. So I might not have all the information right now on hand to answer your question. For example, how much the fee is, whether you are eligible. So currently, if I'm not mistaken, our point system basically is, if I'm not mistaken, it's either 26 or 27. So don't quote me on this. So go to the exhibition booth and they have the up-to-date information on that. So you can actually use your chat message, which is on the website, or using a Zoom call similar like this. So do I hear that from Hani
Uh,
Rajul asking that or maths O level requirement for IGSE? Yes, we require that. Although IGSE maths is slightly lower, so you need to score a highest marks if I'm mistaken. If anything, you need to go through the entry requirement PDF file that I've just shown you earlier. So if you have a certain level or certain result, that is what you should be looking at, and whether it's fit our requirements or not. So for the location of the booth, it's actually at MOE hexpo.moe.gov.bn, and it's actually at booth 15 if I'm mistaken. The venue is online.
Here's
So
another question from Abdul Kula Ganay.
mhm,
As for the entry requirement, accumulated total acceptable points is between 5 to 26 points,
yeah.
but the points is 27, and now you have the A level result. Can it help me by using my A level to enter Polytechnic Brunei?
All right. So for this type of question, just to be clear with everyone, our baseline when applying for Polytechnic is O levels. So from students who are from O levels, A levels, or even IBTE, using diploma or a private college, they usually has O level first. For those who have higher result or certificates, for example, IBT or A level, we first look at O level score if they fit the criteria, and then the A level will be looked secondary. So, for example, for IBTE, if it's the course is the same or relevant to our course, for example, computer, we'll look into that and then actually see whether they have English or maths. If the English or maths is somehow lacking, there's a high chances for that person will be taking a test before they can actually consider to be applying to Polytech Brunei. So whatever point here is, whether you are 26, 27, and so on, usually 20, if it says 26, meaning that that's our threshold to actually look at. So if you are eligible or not, you can still apply, but you will be somehow competing with other students who has lower number values. So depending on your luck and nasib, this might be considered, might not be considered, but we don't stop you from applying. So you can still apply, but that's the rule for the current year. This is keep on trending every year rather than it's going up. It's always going down with the number 5 to 26, might be in 3 years 5 to 25, we don't know. But the trend here is we're trying to increase the quality, and the number should be going down to 25 and so on. I hope that answer your question.
Here's from Cash Ras. Also referring to final year, how does the attachment process work there?
All right. So for final year, usually we have 3 years. The final year is the third year. So during this third year, after you either finish FYP, final year project, it's either you do FYP first or you do attachment. We call it internship here. So this internship is 1 semester, which is about 6 months. So you will be allocated to the industry, be it government or non-government, and then you will be working internship. You will be having still your allowance, but will be working in a real working environment in the industry. So that's how the internship works. So if you want to work part time, I think the best advice would be working not office hour, as in from 8 to 4:30 p.m., because that's our school time. So if you want to work part time, usually you can do it at night.
Mm. Here's the question from Hani Rajul. Can I still apply Polytechnic Brunei if I do not get credit in Bahasa Melayu?
If you don't have credit in Bahasa Melayu, the only downside with this is you can't apply for scholarship. Government scholarship requires you to have Bahasa Melayu credit before you are eligible for government scholarship, meaning you are government pay for your school time here. So if you don't have Bahasa Melayu, worst case would be can get here, but your semester time you need to pay. So 1 semester usually is paid 1 year. You pay for that semester, and then you still study here. However, during that time, you can still get your O level for Bahasa Melayu if you get a credit for it, and it's actually approved and so on. then you can apply for scholarship, and then maybe semester 2 you might have a scholarship and no longer needs to pay. So you can still gain O level for Bahasa Melayu. The Bahasa Melayu part is only look for scholarships. For those who
All
having
right.
no English credit, our main requirement is two things basically. We have English and maths. So if you don't have English or if you don't have maths, it's very hard or even impossible to apply. You need to have credit in those fields first before you can apply for Polytechnic. For those type of cases for students who don't have O levels for maths and English, or having not enough points, then you could try going one level below. IBT is diploma level 4, while Polytechnic is diploma level 5. So you go one level below, go there, study, then you can go to Polytechnic. After Polytechnic, you can go to university level from UBD, IBT, IBD, UTB, and UBD, and so on.
Okay, sorry for the interruption.
Yeah.
It looks like we're out of time. For all the participants, attendees, thank you for joining our session this morning. Our next session will start at 10 in the morning.
All
Thank
right. Thank you for your time. If you have more questions, ask at the virtual expo at our booth 15. And have a nice day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
you.